Hello, hello, friends. Welcome to the Thursday Throwdown. Give me 1 second because I want to go ahead and share this into my group. If you don't know about my group, if you are kind of brand new to me, hello, friend. Hold on a second. It's called the Disruptors Nation, and it is a free Facebook group. It is relatively new. It's engaged. It's super high vibe. It's for women just like you, female disruptors who are out doing big, bold work in the world and want support and community in doing that. So if that's you, head on over and join us. So let me quick just go in and share that in my group, and then we will get started. Okay, I think we're good to go. I think we are good to go. Awesome. So welcome. Happy Thursday. I hope you're doing really, really well. I am kind of basically fresh back from an incredible live experience that I hosted last week. So as many of you know, I run multiple coaching groups, and I have a 6-month coaching intensive. It's a transformational coaching experience, really, called Becoming Limitless. And it's designed to help you transform your entire inner landscape in order to tap more fully into your limitless nature so that you can get out in the world and do the disruptive work you've been called to do. So part of that coaching experience includes a 2-day live retreat with me here in beautiful Raleigh, where we go really deep. And it is the most, I've done it multiple times. I've been doing live workshops and transformational experiences like this for 23 years. And it never, ever ceases to amaze me just how powerful it is when women with open hearts and open minds and an intention to heal and receive show up, connect, hold space for each other, and then are open to being guided and to co-create breakthroughs and healing and results with me and with each other. So I hosted that experience last week. And every time I do something like that, I make sure I take a little downtime afterwards. And I tell my participants to do the same thing, because you may have a little bit of an energy hangover after doing such deep work. And while I was sitting home, really just kind of relishing in the memory of the whole experience, what became very clear to me was that there are only a couple of secrets, really, to ongoing success in your personal development journey, in your relationships with yourself and other people, and in your journey doing this kind of disruptive work in the world. And these really just are a few secrets to staying completely out of overwhelm, which is one of your enemies to doing disruptive work, getting totally overwhelmed by, well, lots of things, really. Or if you're kind of wired like me and you're sort of type A and you're a go, go, go person, getting completely and utterly burned out by the work, by the people, by the resistance you might get by putting your truth out in the world. And even just burned out from, doing the deep work of healing whatever you need to heal in order to evolve. Because as we know, in our own personal evolution, our message evolves, our energy goes up, and our ability to go out and create real impact in the world goes through the roof. But, this is not fluffy surface work, my friends. I wish it was as easy as me saying to you, here you go. Here's like this great self-help book. Just go read it, use a highlighter, do the exercises, and that's all you're going to need to do. Now, I read books like that all the time, and I recommend books like that all the time. But what I know to be true is that the deep, connective, transformational work is really what makes the difference, what moves the needle. It's the thing that allows you to show up and then work with your team, or work with your, business strategist, or work with your campaign manager, or work with your book editor or your speech editor, and really go out and do powerful work in the world. And so really what came to me when I was thinking about this, and what I want to share with you today, and I've shared a little bit in emails and some posts, was just this very simple concept that I know to be true in my own life. And I want to help you just put some focus on today because it is so simple, but it is so, so powerful. And too many of you are doing this kind of unconsciously or, by default. And really the topic is the immense power that lies in the circles of people that you choose or allow yourself to be in. The tables, really, these I think of it as a circular table that you pull up a seat at and sit at and participate in. Circles of women especially are incredibly powerful, especially when they are cultivated consciously and intentionally, and with women who are of the same sort of high vibe, who share this desire to go out and make a true impact, a true difference in the world. And that difference is going to require us, to stand up and speak our truth on the regular with consistency, with transparency and honesty and vulnerability, and be able to deal with the pushback. Because guess what? When you share your truth and you are unapologetic about it, and you are sharing it for the purpose of the greater good, you're not just doing it to, stir the pot. You're doing it to create real, powerful, positive change. You're going to get pushback. There's just no question. There's no way of getting around it. And it's okay. It's okay. But the power, actually, I should say, the quality of the circles that you allow yourself to be in, that you choose to enter, or that you just allow yourself to stay in because it's comfortable, or because you're afraid to leave, or because you never really thought about it before, which is okay. You have to understand that these circles have a powerful impact on you. And so as you are growing as a human being, as you are growing as a professional, as you are growing as a business owner, as a speaker, as a politician, as an author, as an activist, as a scientist, an engineer, as a mental health expert, whatever you are, right? As you are growing in that field, you are getting your message out there in bigger and bolder and more honest ways, you are going to require powerful circles to be part of. And let me explain to you that is not from like a needy perspective. Look, I get it. I am intelligent. I am driven. I'm ambitious as fuck. I totally understand this. And sometimes we fall into this trap of thinking like, I'm smart, I'm educated, I'm not 20. And even if you are, that's not a knock on you. It just means I've gone around the sun a couple of times. I should be able to do this stuff by myself. That's a big mistake that we make. And that's really just a mindset shift that needs to happen, that actually we go further, we go faster, and we create much more powerful impact when we go together. But we've got to be really intentional and clear and specific about who we go there with. And if you spend any time at all scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on Instagram, going through your Twitter feed, and I'm very mindful about how much time I spend doing that and who I allow to be in my perception on those, platforms, you're going to see that there are a lot of people that group together in a way that is incredibly negative, is incredibly low vibe, is based on judgment and fear and scarcity and even sometimes hate. And those are circles. Those are circles. You've got to become incredibly aware of the circles that you are not only currently involved in on the regular, but of the circles that you really yearn to be a part of. And you might not even think they exist, and that's okay. But we've got to start with what's the quality, the mental quality, the emotional quality, the vibrational quality, the content quality, the relationship and connection quality of the circles I have allowed myself to be a part of up until today. So we've got to take an honest inventory. And I almost feel like the word I want to use is beg. I want to beg you to do this, because I have had such immense privilege to lead, co-create with, and be part of circles of women who are doing the work, my friends. They're doing the work to change their entire inner landscape, because they know they are called to do and be and have and grow and impact more. And they know that that impact is a direct extension of the work they do on themselves to heal, to expand, to grow, to get connected to their truth. And that's real work, my friends. You know, that's the real work. That's what allows you to step forward and be seen and be heard and speak a truth that might be extremely compelling, but extremely triggering to people, and continue to do it without giving into the judgment, the criticism, the hate, the pushback. So the quality of the circles you are in is one of the secrets to your success in the long game. And I'm here to play the long game. I am not, look, I love a quick win as much as anybody else. Whether it's a quick win because I had a breakthrough and an aha that allowed me to create something new or add to my team or bring in some cash quickly in a feel-good integrity way. Those are great. I love them. Don't get me wrong. Those are fabulous. But I'm in it for the long game. I'm in it to touch more and more and more lives with my work. I'm not in it just to grow my bank account this year. And so if that is my truth, that I want to reach more and more women, not just here at home in the US, but globally, then I have to be incredibly conscious and incredibly intentional about the circles I step into and participate in, and the circles I cultivate and lead. So here's what I want you to kind of lean into today, because when I do these mini sessions, I like you to be able to not only hear something and maybe have an aha or challenge your perspective a little bit. I like to give you something to walk away with, to think about, pray about, meditate about, journal on, dance around your kitchen thinking about, whatever your process is. It's all good, right? But I'd like you to have something to walk away with that you can really work through to your own benefit. Because it's great to get online and hear somebody say some inspiring things, right? Some things that fire you the fuck up. But if you don't have something that you can take away and really make personal about you, relevant to you when nobody else is around, then all this is just fluffy feel-good talk. And I'm not really interested in that. I mean, I love to be inspired, but really my goal is to help you transform. Inspiration's fabulous. Transformation is the real deal. So here's what I want to offer you to think about today. As a woman who sees herself as a change agent, or as a woman who sees herself as a full-on disruptor, as a woman who maybe has known for her entire adult life, or maybe since you were young. I mean, I kind of woke up to this at 14 years old. I can remember sitting in my bedroom going, this isn't right. And I'm supposed to do something about it. And it scared the shit out of me. Not going to lie. And now 33 years later, I'm really clear about what that was about and who I am and what my role and purpose in this is. But there's lots of you who are just sort of waking up to this stirring in your heart and your soul now. And that's great. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited that you're honoring that stirring inside yourself. Don't ever, ever ignore that. So maybe you're just waking up to it now, and the word disruptor is a little scary to you. And in coming weeks, I'm going to be talking about what it really means to be a disruptor, because the perception out in the world, created basically by the patriarchy, is that a disruptor means you're a bitch and a ball buster. And that's not what this is about. But we'll go there next week, or maybe the week after. For today, understand, whether you're in this and you've known this lifelong and you've been doing this work a long time, or you're just waking up to it and you're saying, how can I do this work? How can I express this stirring in my soul, my heart, my mind? It doesn't matter where you are, okay? What matters is that you do what you need to do to play the long game. And your circles are a big part of this. So here's what I invite you to think about on a very individual, personal level, so that it's really meaningful to you. It's not just a nice idea. I want you to keep in mind that you're already in circles, and you may not think about them that way, but there are circles of friendships and acquaintances. There are circles within your family. There are circles within your work, whether you are an independent business owner like myself and you have your own cultivated team, or you're part of a corporation, or you are part of a social activism collective, or there's circles everywhere, and there's circles online and there's circles offline. So I want you to maybe after this is done, or even now, if you have a journal in front of you, start listing out, what are my circles? What circles am I involved in, really? And kind of to what degree? And then I want you to start to be honest about where you're in denial about your circles. And I'm going to be totally transparent with you and tell you that there have been times where I have fallen asleep in my circles. In other words, I had been in them so long and gotten so sort of comfortable. Comfortable is not even the right word, because a lot of it made me uncomfortable. Used to, that's maybe a better phrase, used to being in them, that I was in utter denial about the fact that they were sucking my energy. They were sucking my confidence. They were sucking my clarity. They were instilling more self-doubt than I had before. Or I just got complacent in them. And I had been in denial about that. It happens to all of us. So if that's what's going on with you right now, that's totally okay to admit. But it is not useful for you to continue to be in denial about them. And this can be painful because it can include the family circles you're in. Now, do not misunderstand me. I am not saying bail on your family. What I am saying is take inventory of how the circles that you operate in inside of your family may need more limits and boundaries. There are very few people in my career, whether it was as a coach or a therapist, where I said, you need to disconnect 100%. And those situations were situations of domestic violence, sexual violence, and severe emotional toxic abuse, where the person was just really being, their wellness was being eroded by the minute. But that's just a handful of people in like 24 years. This is about limits and boundaries, right? But in our other circles, so our friends, our colleagues, our other support networks, so coaching circles, consulting circles, personal development circles, wellness circles, spiritual circles, physical development circles, right? All of those things. And team, whether that's a team that you work with inside someone else's business, a team that you work with inside your own business, a team that you work with in your nonprofit, the team you work with to get your book published, whatever it is, your team. These are the circles I invite you to take a really good, honest look at. How they're functioning, the quality of them. Are you contributing more than they are? Are they truly, truly supporting you? And the way I like to look at it is this. I have decided that I am not available for anything less than being supremely supported, meaning that the people around me are super high vibe. They are on board. We don't always agree, but from a values-based perspective, we are in alignment. We can have really great discussions, even disagreements about things, but they are healthy, constructive discussions. And when it comes to things like team and the coaching circles I'm in and whatever, they see my vision, they see me for who I am, and they are constantly encouraging me to shine that light as brightly as I can, because there's no such thing as casting a fucking shadow on your sister when you shine your light. And if somebody shrinks when you shine, that's not about you. That's about them. Because the truth is, when we shine, it gives permission and it models an example of shining to all the other women around us and some of the men too. It is an invitation to the sister next to you to crank up her light, because she doesn't have to fear diminishing yours. So if you are not in circles that raise your vibration, that make consistent deposits into your clarity and confidence and courage bank accounts, then you are in the wrong circles, my friend. And we've all been there. But it's time to exit. It's time to exit, because I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, one of the 3 keys to my success as a growing, healing, expanding human being and as a business owner is absolutely the quality of the circles I am in, which is why I intentionally, via my business, create circles that are very consciously cultivated. And as a result, the women who participate in them transform to degrees that blow their own minds. And that has an immediate impact on the work they're doing in the world. So I'd like for you today to take inventory of your circles. And also, here's a few questions that may help you just get really honest about what's going on with the circles you're in. So number 1, what would it look like for you to be supremely supported? What would that look like? What would the personal development and coaching group you're in look like? What would your support at home look like? What would your own health and wellness support look like? What would your circle of team or colleagues look like? Write it out. I call this a dream team exercise, but a lot of times when people talk about dream team, really what they're referring to is for their business or for their, the company that they work for. I mean a life dream team. What would each of these circles feel like, look like? How would they operate for you? So that every day you wake up and no matter what the obstacles are for you going out and doing the work in the world and sharing your message and sharing your gifts, that you, no matter what's happening, feel supremely supported. What would that look like? If you allow yourself to be supremely supported, what would that provide for you? What would that give you that you do not currently have, but you know that you need and deserve in order to do this disruptive work in the world, in order to be a consistent agent of change in the world? Now, here are some really hard questions. I always give you the ones that go, oh, ouch, ouch. But it's an invitation for you to see the truth and to lean in, because you are always at choice. Every moment you're at choice. You can choose a different response. You can choose a different action. So when you look at your current circles, what is the truth of what you're settling for? What are you settling for by choosing to remain in friendships that don't fully support you? In groups of friends that don't fully support you? What are you choosing to settle for by continuing to have conversations with family members who cross your boundaries, who annihilate your limits, who don't respect them, and that degrade your confidence and your spirit? What are you settling for by continuing to have those? What are you settling for by continuing to work with teams of people that are not a perfect fit, who are not bought into your vision, who are not bought into your mission, who are not full on fucking fans and cheerleaders of the work you do in the world? They're just there for a paycheck or a job, whatever. What are you settling for? And last but not least, especially this, what are you settling for by allowing yourself to be in coaching and personal development and, growth circles of women where you are being competed with, undercut, you're giving more than you're getting, you're not being led by a true expert who is seeing you at your best and then helping you co-create those results? Groups of women that you've outgrown, even if you love them? What are you settling for by staying in those circles? And the last question before I wrap up is, what are you and your work and your gifts and your mission, what's at risk if you don't make a change now? What's at risk for you? There's a lot there, my friends, to face and to dive into. And I invite you, as uncomfortable as it may be, I invite you to lean into those questions and answer them honestly for yourself, not on some philosophical level, right? About somebody else, but about you and your work in the world and who you're being and who you're becoming in this world. Because honestly, that's all that matters. So I invite you to go and answer these questions today and then make some decisions about leaving where you need to leave, setting limits and boundaries where you need to set them, and then seeking out new circles so that you may be supremely supported in your own growth, in your own healing, and in your own work. Now, if you are somebody who is really looking to go much deeper and wants more clarity, more courage, more confidence, and more support in the becoming a change agent, becoming more of a disruptor, then I invite you to join me for my very first workshop of 2019 called Daring to Disrupt. It's a 3-hour live virtual live intensive. It's happening at 11 a.m. Eastern, 11 to 2 on February 26, 2019. And you will see a link above to join. I only take 10 women when I run these kinds of workshops because it is my absolute commitment to serve you on those workshops, to coach you, to answer your questions, to make this a really valuable personal experience for you. So this is not some webinar with 5,000 people on it, where I'm just going to show you a bunch of slides and talk about myself and what. I don't do that. That's not my jam. This is an experience. And I've made it incredibly accessible to you at $297. But it is only for the first 10 women, fast action takers who are like, I'm in, I want to go deep, I want to shift things. And I not only want to learn, I want to be personally coached and supported. So we have 3 hours and there's only 10 women max allowed into the experience. when I run these workshops, so I typically run workshops and virtual VIP days. This is a 3-hour workshop. My next thing will most likely be an all-day virtual VIP day, different price point. But anything I run is intensive. It's meant to move the needle immediately. It is not just teaching, it's taking action. There are exercises, there are tools, and there's coaching. It is the entire shebang, I like to say, for $297, but only for the first 10 people that click the link to join me. Yes, there will be a replay and a recording that goes out. So like I say, if you have to step away and go answer the door because the Amazon guy shows up, like it does at my house all the time, you will be able to catch the replay with whatever you missed. And there is absolutely time during this experience for every single one of you to raise your hand and get the personalized attention you need and deserve to be able to move the needle. I'm super excited to do this workshop with you on February 26th. So please click the link and join me. And in the meantime, walk away and answer these questions for yourself, because this is not just about what you need to be successful and create impact. It's about what you deserve. And those are two very different things. All right, my friends, much love to you, sending you off into the rest of your week with lots of love. Please pop your comments below. Please share this out if you think that your community would benefit from hearing this conversation. And if you're watching this on my business page and you are not yet inside the Disruptors Nation, my free Facebook group, please hop on over and join us over there, where we're having lots more conversations about impactful, disruptive women and messages and movements inside the group. Take care, everybody.